Welcome back. Welcome back. You man, Diamond K in here. Of course, RadioFire.com, the DiamondKShow.com. Radio Fire is a listener-supported internet talk radio and podcast network streaming from our production facilities in Baltimore, Maryland, and Atlanta, Georgia. And we're able to broadcast programs like this show, the Diamond K Show, because of our listeners and some amazing partners, which I will get into a little bit later. So today is a special day as it relates to this journey we've been on as far as the election, 2020 election. Long lines greeted voters on this first day of early voting in Maryland. According to the Maryland State Board of Elections, polls opened at 7 a.m. and will close at 8 p.m. So you definitely have time to do that. As of last week, the board reported that it received more than 95,000 ballots from voters in Baltimore County. And early voting starting today. Some who've had issues are planning to go in person to vote. And that's good. I think that is good. According to the State Board of Elections, if you requested or have received a mail-in ballot and want to vote early, the state says that you can do so, but it will take longer since you have to cast a provisional ballot. So there's a lot. People are excited for this early voting, this in-person voting, which began in Maryland today. So a lot of people having different experiences for this. This in-person early voting, which started today, is going to run for 8 consecutive days, including Saturday and Sunday. First, early voters began to line up before dawn in Silver Spring, the Civic Center in Silver Spring and elsewhere. This is a pivotal election. It's important to recognize the massive level of sacrifices that have been made by African Americans for the right to vote. Massive sacrifices. So when I see people talking about it's not important to vote, they don't want to vote because they don't like some of the candidates or some other kind of foolishness, completely disregarding the down ballot elections, just the important things that are on election. Not, I hear idiots like Boyce Watkins talking about not voting, and this is a supposed to be doctor, right? Allegedly smart people are saying they shouldn't vote. This is part of the propaganda that has been used against our people. As I said, early voting centers are open 7 a.m. to 8 p.m. When I hear about Ice Cube, some of the things that Ice Cube was on Fox News yesterday talking about his controversy, saying that he doesn't know who he's going to vote for. The ice has melted with Ice Cube, and it's actually sad to see. But we cannot get sidetracked with entertainers who are misled, lack focus, or unintelligent, or selfish and strictly thinking about money that they have, that they're concerned about being taxed. Of course, 50 Cent comes to mind, and others. There are other rappers that are further down the food chain that support Trump and do so strictly on a basis of celebrity, because he was, famous before he was president. Washington, D.C. will open 32 early voting centers starting tomorrow Residents can vote in the district at any voting center and are not limited to using one near their home. Same-day voter registration is allowed in the district. Residents just need valid proof of residence. Nearly 100 voting centers will be open on election day, and that is in D.C. So make it your point. Been texting so many people I haven't talked to in a long time. Do you have a plan to vote? Is this something that is on your radar? If not, why? If not, why is it not on your radar? Needs to be on your radar. Super important. And it's not only about the presidential election. Down ballot, local elections are very important. And for wherever you live, the local elections are super important. Do not fall for the okie doke and thinking that this election is just about Trump and Biden. There's so much more on the ballot. Now, those things are important, but I don't want you to get confused as to thinking that that's all that's on the ballot. So if you don't like Trump, you don't like Biden, you don't need to vote. No, that is not true. It's not accurate. Not accurate. Just tuning in, it's your man Diamond K, The Diamond K Show, RadioFire.com, TheDiamondKShow.com. Also on social media at The Diamond K Show, at Radio on Fire. I got an interesting email today, and I want to read it. It says that today I casted my vote. I expected long lines, no problem. The 2 hour and 40-minute wait was worth it. Me being the 240th person in line at Morgan State University. I had the opportunity to see many coming out from seniors, parents, and babies, children, and many people with disabilities. I believe there should have been better accommodations for seniors with walkers, wheelchairs, and even those that brought the babies in their arms or strollers. Just food for thought. Your vote is your voice. And so that is coming from someone who voted in Baltimore at Morgan State University. Got that email, and thank you for sharing that. So people are expecting lines, and there may be lines. So be prepared for that when you talk about what is your election plan. These are some of the things that we're talking about. Are you prepared to stand in line? Because you should be. It's that important. You can stand in line for Jordans. You can stand in line on Mother's Day. You stand in line pre-pandemic. Stood in line to get a table on Mother's Day. Right? Oh, those lines were crazy on Mother's Day, waiting for a table. Even on a regular day, if you want to go somewhere to eat, Sunday afternoon after the church crowd comes through, you're going to wait, right? So you can wait for this. You can wait for this, and it is very important that you do wait. It's very important. However you vote, whatever your whatever side of the fence that you fall on, whatever your proclivity may be. So many early voting center locations have changed. With senior centers and privately owned buildings replaced by empty schools to protect health, many cases. Local election directors decided on what safety measures to utilize, but socially distanced lines, plastic glass shields, and frequent sanitizing of equipment are expected. These are some of the things that are going to slow things down. But it is for your safety that these things happen. It is for your safety that these things are occurring. So Maryland has allowed early in-person voting since 2010, but it was not offered during the June primary due to the pandemic. However, things have changed. More than 1.6 million Maryland residents already requested mail-in ballots by a deadline earlier this month. More than 45% of those people have returned them. Things are moving along. Things are moving along. On the ballot, you will find the presidential race, congressional seats, and 2 statewide questions on amending the state constitution. Baltimore voters will also make choices for mayor, city council, and city council president. It is super important. Find out. If you don't understand what's on there, you have time to look. You have time to look. This is a sample ballot here. Sample ballot. Okay. Right. And so on the sample ballot, it has, early voting locations. Tells you how simple. You see that? Tells you how simple it is to vote. Right? It also has questions that are on the ballot. Right? Questions that are on this ballot. So everyone needs to participate. This is something that has to happen. Anyone who missed the advanced voter registration deadline can participate in same-day registration at early voting or election day vote centers. To do so, you need to bring your driver's license, ID card, change of address card, a paycheck, bank statement, utility bill, or government document that includes your name and your new address. Marylanders. Early voting centers and election day vote centers will be following approved health guidelines. Voters must wear masks and maintain distance of at least 6 feet. You know what I mean? 6 feet. You've been doing that. We can do that. This is not that hard. This is something that we can do. So what we are going to do now, we're going to take a quick break, and we're going to come back with more of the show after this. Radio on Fire talks to America through digital news broadcasts and social media content. We are a rising multimedia platform generating over 350,000 listeners and viewers per month through our audio and video streams. From politics, breaking news, celebrity info, sports talk, pop culture, and so much more, Radio on Fire keeps our audience covered. So this is something that Republicans have been talking about and trying to downplay. But as feared, coronavirus deaths are rising again in this country. Deaths are rising. And when you hear people say that, oh, it's a hoax, or we're on the light side of the tunnel. You see, it's almost over and we bend in the corner and stopping the spread. No, we are not. And usually the reason that we're not is because of people that are denying that's even an issue. People with that mindset are some of the people that are spreading this virus. Deaths per day from coronavirus in this country are on the rise again. We talked about this potentially happening back in the springtime. Despite assurances from Donald Trump over the weekend, we're rounding the turn. We're doing great. Somebody shut him up, please. No, we are not. It is a lie. Election day just 1 week away. Average deaths per day across this country are up 10% over the last 2 weeks. So what is that? Let me give you some hard numbers. So from 721 to nearly 794 as of yesterday. This is according to Johns Hopkins University. Newly confirmed infections per day are rising in 47 states, and deaths are up in 34. Health experts had warned us it was only a matter of time before deaths turned upwards. Given the record-breaking surge that is all over this country, deaths are a lagging indicator. That's, of course, something that happens after we see the rise, we see the spike. Generally takes a few weeks for people to sicken and then eventually die from the coronavirus. So when you have people on TV pushing, herd immunity, because whenever you hear people talking, oh, it's not that big of a deal, masks don't work, or we wear masks when it's convenient or when we can, they are really pushing herd immunity, meaning they want everybody to get it. The people that die, and everybody else is supposed to be okay. That strategy is irresponsible. And it's downright criminal. The virus is blamed for more than 8.6 million confirmed infections and over 225,000 deaths in the country. So it is up to you to take the information, listen, and protect yourself, your family members, and your loved ones. The true number of infections is even higher because many Americans have not even been tested, right? People can be infected and spread without ever feeling sick. So just because the president survived, or the president's kid, or the lady that he parades around with and calls his wife, just because they survived doesn't mean you will, doesn't mean your grandmother will, doesn't mean your aunt will, or your mother or father, or your child. It doesn't mean any of that. Dr. Deborah Birx, who is part of the task force and has taken a tour of nearly 40 states, said she found the absence of face coverings and the lack of social distancing to be deeply unfortunate and a danger. We are in a crisis state. There's a crisis happening right now. This is one of the things that is on the ballot. This is one of the things that you need to judge this president on, how he has protected Americans. And he can try to tell you, oh, it's not that bad. Oh, we're beating it. But you can look at the economy. You can look at the businesses that are closing. You can look at the fact that your kids are schooling from home. The fact that restaurants are not operating at full capacity. The fact that we have to wear masks. The fact that you see people wearing masks. The fact that things are not the way they were this time last year. You can see that things are not right. You can see that this is not the way this country is supposed to be. And yes, the virus came from China. Yes. But what has this administration done to protect the citizens? President Obama said over the weekend that we can't expect President Trump to protect Americans when he wouldn't even take the basic steps to protect himself and his own family. That's how little he cares. He doesn't care about himself, his kid, his wife, let alone the people that work with him, let alone his so-called supporters. So you know what he feels about the rest of America, because most Americans did not vote for Donald Trump. Most Americans did not vote for Donald Trump. Hillary Clinton, for all her flaws, got more votes than Donald Trump. Be clear. So we continue to see cases rise. Deaths are rising. Deaths are rising. I really hope that people are taking this more serious. You cannot. How can we listen? How can we listen to someone who got the virus as to how to not get it, right? The stuff you were doing got you the virus, and your wife and your son and your close coworkers. Nobody should be listening to you, right? Nobody should be listening to him. Nobody should be listening to Trump or his chief of staff as to how to not get this virus. Both of those clowns had the virus and got it by doing the foolishness that they already are doing and are trying to continue to preach to the American people. It's a damn shame. Deaths are rising. So let's do this. Take a quick break. Come back. More of the program. This is a quick break. I told you it was going to be a quick break. You thought I was playing. GOP senators are moving toward the confirmation to the high court of Amy Coney Barrett. So she is she's going to be on the court. They have been able to overpower the Democratic opposition. Senate Republicans are set to confirm Barrett to the Supreme Court. This is not a good thing. It is not. It's not a good thing. So this is going to secure Donald Trump's nominee a week before Election Day and a likely conservative court majority for years to come. The fact that they have this majority, and let me tell you how cold-blooded, ruthless Republicans are. They have the majority, and then they are framing Democrats as bad guys for potentially evening things out. And they mask it by calling it court packing, right? You've already packed the court with conservative judges and have the nerve to approach Democrats like, are you going to be court packing? Look, he's trying to pack the court. And the Democrats are so scared and shook that they're like, court packing? What do you mean? Like, they've already packed the court. This is my issue with Democrats. Democrats are so scared. Stop being scared. We watched Joe Biden on the stage, Trump talking all about his son. Joe Biden don't want to say nothing about his son. I mean, you have so much ammunition, right? All you had to do was mention, his daughter, right? Wasn't it Ivanka? Mention her. Mention Don Jr., Coke Boy. Mention Eric Trump and his lunatic self. Joe Biden didn't want to do that because most Democrats are scared. The Republicans are pushing them around. And when it comes to this Amy Coney Barrett crap, the way that the Democrats just lay down and just let the Republicans run all over top of them, that part is sickening. That hopefully will change. Trump's choice to fill the vacancy for the late icon Ruth Bader Ginsburg definitely opens a new era in the rulings of abortion. For all of the Democrats' weakness, I hope you understand where this road is leading. when it comes to abortion, when it comes to the Affordable Care Act, when it comes to potential dispute over this election that we are currently in the midst of. The fact that people are sitting back and not making a big deal about this on the Democratic side, that's because y'all don't understand what they're doing. Y'all don't understand how they are positioning and what is happening. Barrett is 48 years old, and her confirmation will solidify the court's rightward tilt. What does that mean? You hear right, you hear left, right? This means Democrats, a lot of things that you have probably in your lifetime come to just take for granted, these things are in jeopardy. These things are in jeopardy. Today's vote is the closest high court confirmation ever to a presidential election. We are 1 week away from the election. If President Obama had tried this, Republicans would have made such a noise that Democrats would have waited. But Democrats, they don't want to rock the boat. That's why they don't like AOC on the other side. They don't like AOC. The Republicans don't like her, mainly because she's about that life, because she wants to rock the boat. There's not enough people willing to rock the boat. This spike in COVID-19 crisis has hung over the proceedings. Mike Pence, his office said today that he would not preside at the Senate session unless his tie-breaking vote was needed, after Democrats asked him to stay away when his aides, like 5 of them, have tested positive for COVID-19, right? And I don't like that, right? I don't like the fact that Democrats asked him, oh, please, Mike Pence, can you stay away? No, demand that he stays away. Because that's what they would do if the shoe was on the other foot. Demand. Democrats are too passive, asking, please this, don't do that. Why? Why were you doing this? No, you have to make some demands and stand up and act like adults, not scared children cowering in the corner. But that is what happens. The Democrats must get a backbone. Just hoping and praying that things are going to work out and that the good guy is going to win in the end of the movie. You can clearly see Trump has been in office for 4 years. The good guy is not winning at the end of this movie. Not on his own, not unless you take some steps, not unless you move things in the right direction. You got to help it along because it's not happening on its own. And I think people understand that part. But our elected officials have to understand it also. Elected officials have to understand it also. We are 1 week away. 1 week away. And once we get to election day, election coverage is going to be interesting. It's going to be election week. And the Democrats, you have to be ready because Republicans are going to try every trick in the book. They've telegraphed it. You can see where it's going. That's why they're trying to set the court up. Because when Trump loses again, they are going to try to take this to the court. And the last time they took something to the court, you may not be old enough to remember, was in 2000. And that did not go the way the Democrats wanted. The winner was robbed and Bush Jr. was put in office. And they're trying to relive that and do the same thing with Donald Trump. And the Democrats sat back and didn't do nothing about it. So we're going to see what happens. I have talked about this often, and I'm going to talk about this again. Democrats need to stand up and not take anything that the Republicans do. The Republicans lie. The Republicans cheat. The Republicans steal. And Democrats just sit there and say, oh, wow, that's not a nice thing. I wonder why he did that. We want to appeal to their better angels. No, they're not going to do that. That's not what criminals do. Not real criminals, not the criminals that we're dealing with. Just tuning in to the Diamond K Show here on Radio on Fire, of course, at the Diamond K Show at Radio on Fire. And, you know, I'm in a mood. I'm in a mood. Just as close as we are to getting this clown out of office, I'm still not 100% sure that things are going to go the way they need to go. We need everybody to get out and vote. And then if they try some shady stuff, we need everybody to not sit and accept the foolishness. We need our elected officials to grow a backbone, to grow a sack, to put on their big people clothes and do what you were elected to do. And that is help the people of this country. Your man Diamond K, I will be back here tomorrow, 7 p.m. at the Diamond K Show at Radio on Fire. Of course, you can always follow the program on Spotify or wherever you're hearing this broadcast. Follow the Diamond K Show. Radio on Fire is listener-supported internet talk radio and podcast network, streaming from our production facilities in Baltimore and Atlanta. We're able to bring you programs like the Diamond K Show because of our listeners and some amazing partners. Partners like D Lifestyle Secrets. Are you a baby boomer? Translation, were you born between 1946 and 1964? Well, more than 71 million Americans are baby boomers. And as you continue to get older, baby boomers want to stay mobile and experience as few aches and pains as possible. DLifestyleSecrets.com helps you do just that. They provide a blueprint to reduce and or eliminate joint pain by teaching its members to communicate naturally with their bodies. DLifestyleSecrets.com gives baby boomers step-by-step videos and natural recipes, and most importantly, the motivation to re-energize themselves naturally. Visit DLifestyleSecrets.com to join this active community of baby boomers. So I will be back tomorrow, and of course, there's news, and I'm going to be talking my talk. So I'll see you guys tomorrow.